Fluttercord. Oh, fine. If that's the ship you're going for here. Babies are adorable.
Irony is not lost upon me, my dear. As I was saying, I knew it was only a matter of time before you little ponies realized my superior storytelling prowess and begged for me to return.
Or Pinkie Pie caught a cold and needed some pony to fill in, so I volunteered.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, I'm, I'm awfully stupid. Oh, it's pound and pancake or pound and pumpkin or whatever their names are. This is not a Fluttercord thing. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I didn't see this. Oh. Sorry, every pony, for getting it wrong.
And Discord practically begged me to come along.
What was that?
Nothing. Please continue.
Oh yeah, I'm
Why, thank
sure.
you. I shall humbly reclaim my storytelling throne, but only this once. Next time, I shan't be so easily swayed for your pony pleasure.
Of course.
You're too kind, Discord.
Tonight's tale will be, let's see, aha, the Alicorn and the Pea, and told by the best storybook reader you've ever heard.
Oh, lovely. I get to read to a bunch of, what is that? A colt and a filly. Oh, lovely. Joy babies. I guess.
Bye.
It's a
No.
strange pronunciation for Unky Discord. No matter.
I am known as Uncle Discord on another Discord server. And it's been read by me, a Discordception. A Discord reacting to a Discord Tales. And I'm a Discord on Discord. How quaint.
Once upon a time.
In the distant land of Topsy-Turbia, there lived a regal, benevolent, chaotic, and devilishly handsome queen.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, I guess I'll take Queen.
Oh, woe is me, for I, the queen of this land, have searched high and low for a suitable Alicorn to wed my beloved son, the prince. But alas, no such true Alicorn can be found.
And the first 4 alicorns didn't count because...
The queen's advisor asked, levitating a parchment with her magic that contained the names and faces of 4 famous alicorns, all having been crossed off by the queen.
Too old, too overly saturated by the fandom, too pink, and too OCD. No Starlight Sparkle this
OCD, we can hardly know who that is.
will never do.
The queen said, flopping onto her throne in a huff.
Sunset Shimmer, Your Majesty. And if you're not satisfied with the only alicorns in the land, then perhaps another bride would be better suited for your son? Someone in his own species?
Sunset said, glancing over at the prince who was dreamily looking out the window with his tongue hanging out the side of his mouth. He was a dragon, though an oddly proportioned one at that, and never seemed to quite understand anything that was going on around him. He never spoke, but instead made odd gurgling noises and the occasional shriek. The queen laughed dismissively.
The odd shriek, don't you mean the odd mating call? I know that very well.
Twirling her crown in her claw and holding a twily cane in her paw.
How absurd, Twinkle Glimmer. My son deserves only the best. And besides, pony hybrid babies are all the rage.
Sunset shuddered at the thought.
Isn't that right, son? See? Clear as day.
Right. Well, I suppose if we expanded our search beyond our borders, we might be able to find another alicorn to your liking, Your Majesty.
Sunset started, but was cut off when a loud knocking could be heard from the front door.
Whoever could it be at this hour?
Sunset Shimmer raised an eyebrow in confusion and looked out a nearby window to see that it was still daylight. A perfectly reasonable hour for visitors.
Oh my.
However, with a snap of the Queen's claw, the sun disappeared from the sky and was rapidly replaced by the moon. In addition, she magicked a series of storm clouds that began to rain, with the droplets falling backwards from the ground to the sky. Whoever...
Ah, how simply chaotic. Everything falls upwards, not downwards. Everything is up, but down. Down is up, and up is down. Left is right, and right is right. No, right is left, left is right.
whoever was outside the door screamed out in surprise. Sunset quickly opened the large double doors to save their guest from the Queen's chaotic magic. A striking purple unicorn mare wearing a long dark cloak covered in rainwater was shivering on the front steps.
Sorry for the intrusion. My name is Starlight Glimmer. I was separated from my friends in a series of strange occurrences that seemed to happen rather suddenly once I entered this kingdom.
She said, trailing off when the pair of ponies spied a quesadilla monster chase down a purple alicorn, who screamed in distress in the background, followed by a flock of flying bananas who honked like geese as they attempted to get out of the rain.
That happens around here more than you'd think. You'd better come in. Not that it's much better inside the castle.
Who is it, Sparkle Surprise?
The Queen asked nonchalantly. She teleported out of her throne and next to the visitor.
Starlight Glimmer, Your Majesty.
Another one? How many versions of you twilight, starlight, shimmering glitter sparkles are out there? And they call me the crazy one. So, Nightlight Sprinkles, are you supposed to be the next Alicorn on the list?
Alicorn? I'm not a...
The mare started, but when the Queen pulled her cloak away, sure enough, there were a pair of wings tucked in at her sides.
What the... Where did these come from?
Oh, come now, as if we all didn't see this coming. Princess Do-Goody got her wings in a one-part mid-season finale.
Oh, you've got kidding. As if Starlight... No, bloody... Oh, I cannot get the two apart. Starlight Glimmer and Sunset Shimmer. Jeez. Since when did Sunset Shimmer become an Alicorn princess? Oh, that's bullshit. And Starlight Glimmer would never. Not in a million years. The fans would riot. Isn't that right, audience? Oh yes, I totally did not just break the fourth wall.
Gimme Sham here got us in a music video. You're Twilight 3.0. It's only a matter of time. I'm just speeding up the process.
I think there's been a big mistake. I just needed a place to stay the night until the storm passed. I'm a unicorn, I swear. I don't know how I got these.
Starlight said in exasperation, flailing her wings about, unsure how to control them.
We shall see.
The Queen said, stroking her beard in contemplation.
Come, come, my dear. Warm your hooves by the fire while my trusty assistant and I prepare your room for the evening.
The Queen picked Starlight up from the floor and swept her into the den. Soon after, the Queen returned again with the prince in tow, plopping him beside her and pushing the pair of them together.
You best get acquainted, you know, in case this all works out.
The Queen said.
God, really? Oh, wow.
Before teleporting away with Sunset Shimmer.
Before all what works out? What is going on?
Starlight asked in a mixture of confusion and anger. She looked up at the prince and her eyes widened. She'd never seen a dragon or any creature as unique and intimidating as him. Starlight chuckled awkwardly, taking a step away from him. The prince responded by scooting closer. She took another step away, and the prince leaned his head down to her level, staring intently at her while she chuckled nervously.
Oh, jeez.
I should have stayed outside.
Meanwhile, the Queen and Sunset Shimmer were preparing a room for Starlight for the evening.
I need a test. One that will prove she is a true Alicorn. But what could it be?
the queen said, pacing back and forth while Sunset fluffed the pillows on the bed with her magic.
Why does it matter that the pony be an alicorn again?
Oh, because every pony knows that every Alicorn is a princess, and I must have a true princess to wed my son.
Oh,
Then
God.
you're really just looking for a princess.
And I thought that my son would have been illusion at this time. I would have been happily married to Celestia, or at least that I thought. Because when I thought, and the Alicorn and the P, I was thinking it was different. Very well.
Right? Can't you tell if some pony is a princess if they have a kingdom to rule? Maybe some pony subjects that could vouch for...
Silly twinkly starshine. Any princess can have a crown, a kingdom, a scepter, adoring grounds, and servants to cater to their every need. That doesn't make them a true princess. No, what makes them a true princess is passing a ridiculous test that no other pony could ever possibly hope to pass.
Oh, a ridiculous test, you may say, really. Seems like that my evil scheming's coming back.
I've got it!
The queen said, snapping her claw and producing a tiny green pea with her magic.
What's that for?
Oh, you ponies, so oblivious to the obvious. This, my dear, is the test. I shall put this tiny pea under the mattress, and if she is a true Alicorn princess, then she will feel the pea and won't sleep a wink. Princesses are sensitive, more so than other ponies.
Thanks.
You wreak the tiniest bit of chaos, and their little feelings get hurt, so they turn you to stone.
Yes. I didn't like being stone. But luckily in this story, I'm a princess.
Activity like that can only come from a privileged Alicorn.
The queen deduced. She lifted the mattress and placed the pea in the center of the frame before lowering it. The queen pursed her lips and looked at the bed quizzically.
Any old ordinary Alicorn could feel a pea under just one mattress.
Yes,
I know.
true.
Let's make it 100.
The queen said in delight, snapping her claw and piling one mattress on top of the other.
And blankets, 50 of them as well.
In another snap of the claw, the bed had 50 new blankets on top of the highest mattress. The bed was so massive that the tower had to extend to accommodate for its size, and Sunset Shimmer looked at it in complete confusion.
So, you want the cold, wet, and exhausted potential princess to have a terrible night of no sleep because that will somehow persuade her to stay and marry the prince.
Oh, yes. A true princess will see this bed and won't think anything is strange.
No,
but
not
she'll
at
still
all.
feel the influence of a tiny vegetable under the bottom mattress and not be able to sleep. That's right, kids. Your fairy tales make about as much sense as I do. I couldn't have written a more ridiculous premise than this if I tried.
How glorious. Well, my classic delight is, in what joy is there in making sense, or what fun is there in making sense? I'm enjoying this story.
A little while later, the queen escorted Starlight to her room. She took one look inside and her heart dropped, eyes widening in shock. It was the precarious nature to which the mattresses were piled and the overall height of the bed. One wrong move and it looked like it would topple over.
There you go, dear. A nice soft bed for you to sleep in.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Now, up you go for a good night's sleep.
Yes, up you
I
go.
know I never mentioned this, as it wasn't particularly relevant until now, but I'm terrified of heights. Are you sure there isn't another bed somewhere safer?
Starlight asked.
But this couldn't be any more safer for you, dear. Just enjoy the bed.
Shaking on her hooves. The queen merely laughed and teleported Starlight to the top of the bed monstrosity.
That's a good one, Sunshine Sprinkles. Imagine that. An alicorn afraid of heights. What will these ponies think of next?
I am not an alicorn!
Starlight started, but the queen was gone long before she could finish her sentence. Starlight immediately grasped onto the giant bedpost for dear life. She wasn't sure how it was possible, but it seemed like she was hundreds of feet in the air whenever she dared to look over the side. She attempted to ignite her horn and get back on solid ground, but the sheer altitude from atop the bed had shorted her magic. She was truly stuck.
Okay, Starlight, you can do this. You've been through worse. You faced a hive of changelings, a shadow pony, Pinkie Pie on a sugar bender. You can handle this. This is nothing. What was that? That can't be good. That can't be good. That can't be good. Oh, what would Twilight do? Think, Starlight, think. Maybe I can fly off. No, that's crazy. I don't even know if these wings are real. I don't know if any of this is real. So, pony, help!
No, there will be no help.
The next morning, the queen and the prince eagerly awaited to see if their Alicorn guest had slept through the night. Sunset Shimmer was sent to retrieve her from her room around breakfast time, and when she returned, Starlight Glimmer was with her, and looked simply dreadful. She had deep bags under her eyes, her mane was messed, and her pupils were as small as pinpricks. She was crouched close to the ground like she never wanted to be apart from it ever again.
Ooh, why, this is promising, I must say. Tell me, Sky Sparklers, did you sleep well?
Sleep? I didn't sleep at all.
Starlight said, choking on her words, her tone still tinged with terror.
You passed!
The queen exclaimed, pulling on a cord that appeared beside her head, which released a series of balloons, confetti, and a banner with the queen's picture giving a thumbs up and the printed words, "You did it," in bold letters. As the confetti fell,
Oh yes, I'm sure.
the prince stuck out his tongue and let one of the pieces delicately land on his tongue before eating it.
Passed? Passed what?
The test to see if you truly were an Alicorn princess worthy enough to marry the prince, of course. I hid a pea under all the mattresses, knowing that only a true Alicorn princess would be sensitive enough to feel it, and therefore be too uncomfortable to sleep. At long last, my son can finally settle down with a pony worthy of making me hybrid grandbabies.
The prince was suddenly at Starlight's side, his long tongue licking up the side of her face, causing her to immediately go rigid. She stood silent and still, the only movement coming from the twitch of her eye.
Oh boy, here it comes.
Sunset said, backing away in anticipation.
I think she's going to explode with joy. Yes, joy. Clearly not anger. Surely.
Are you kidding me? You were testing me? I didn't feel a pea. I was clinging onto the bedpost for dear life. How many mattresses did you pile on that bed? There was no additional support. The entire thing wobbled all night. I was sure it was going to fall. It was so high, it shorted out my magic. And I am not an alicorn. I don't know why I have these wings, but I certainly can't fly with them. I was awake in sheer terror all night. What kind of pony, alicorn or not, would want to marry some pony who put them in danger for a stupid test? I'm out of here!
Oh, pooh. I was so sure you were the right Twilight parody for the job. I guess you were supposed to be the Alicorn all along, Shimmy Shine.
The queen said, snapping her claw and taking away Starlight's wings, only to give them to Sunset Shimmer instead. Starlight didn't hesitate, bolting out the door once she was made a unicorn again.
Free! I'm free!
Sunset's shimmer started, inspecting her wings in bewilderment. As she did so, the prince's face inched closer and closer to hers.
True love conquers all.
It certainly
Wait,
does.
I didn't sign up for
The end.
Oh, you stupid ad. What a glorious story that was.
Oh dear.
Oh, what's this? Aren't they supposed to be asleep? Oh, how do you turn this thing off?
Well, Discord, your story was interesting, but it could be quite scary.
Scary? What on earth are you talking about? My story was flawless.
Well, there was a killer quesadilla and terrifying heights, and not to mention a dragon. Maybe the babies were a bit too frightened to fall asleep. Fluttershy? What's going on? Discord! What are you? What are you doing here? Oh, Pinkie Pie, you look just awful. What are you doing out of bed? Pound and Pumpkin's crying woke me up. What did he do this time? I'm so sorry. I think Discord's story might have frightened Pound and Pumpkin. Maybe just a little.
Every penny's still a critic, I see. There was nothing
Yes, they're still a critic of us.
all wrong with the story I told. I can't help it if you ponies have bad taste in comedy.
Move over. I'll tell them a real story. Pinkie Pie, you're too sick. I'll tell the twins a story to get them to go to sleep. Would you like that, Pound and Pumpkin? Aw, a sweet story by you should do just the trick, Fluttershy.
Oh, now see here. When Fluttershy said I could take over story time based upon Pinkie Pie's sudden ailments, she theoretically signed a verbal contract dictating that all stories therein must be told and performed by the one and only Draconicus Lord of Chaos, Discord, etc., etc.
Ah, the Draconicus Lord of Discord. Lord of Chaos Discord. Oh, I love that.
Any breach of said hypothetical contract gives all licensing rights to the series Pinkie Tales to Discord, which will promptly be renamed Chaos Tales and undergo an aggressive rebranding.
Discord? If you wanted another chance, all you had to do was ask. What? But, Fluttershy, do you really expect Discord to tell the twins a sweet story?
Oh, you want sweet? I'll give you downright sappy.
I like the evil tone that we're going for. Let's keep this up, shall we?
Once upon a time.
In the magical land of Horsequestria, there
here we
lived a
go.
lovely queen and a particularly picky prince. The queen, Horse Mom, had tried for years to find the right princess for her son to wed. However, the prince would only accept the
All this is going to be glorious. This is by the lost narrator. This is... Oh, let's
best
go.
and truest princess to be his bride. Thus far, no princesses had won his favor.
I, the perfectly boring, correct-gendered prince, must have the perfect princess for my bride. Oh, are you quite sure we have to start this one from the beginning? Already
This is boring. Starting from the beginning.
bored.
Hold on. How come this is the first time you've actually interrupted your own story? And why did you drag me here again to narrate? That first narrator sounded perfectly fine to me.
There was no first narrator. That was me. I can do all sorts of things to my voice.
Oh, yes.
Change it.
Throw it. Add unnecessary audio effects. I figured if these were called Discord tales, they might as well be narrated by Discord. But
Yes.
that's not the way Pinky wants it. So,
No.
here we are. Predictable, I know. And seeing how Pinky scared away all the other narrators, you were our unlucky winner.
You narrated it. That's not what the name says in the credits, Discord. Narrator 1 is chaotic. Chaotic. I get it. So the Great Lord of Chaos is mimicking narrators now.
Yes. What do you expect?
Great.
A bad pun I surely couldn't pass by, especially since puns are what the Pinky Tales franchise is built upon. Isn't this the part where you narrators insist on getting back to the story, no matter how dull they may be?
Fine.
Where was I? Oh, yes. How will I ever find one to suit me, Mother?
Horse Mom frowned and pulled her son into a sappy and cootie-filled hug to comfort him. As she did so, they heard a knock at the door.
Who could that be? It's pouring normal rain outside at the appropriately inappropriate hour of the night.
Horse Mom asked, opening the door to her own castle for some reason, as there didn't seem to be many servants around.
Nope.
On the doorstep before
Oh, no. God, why? No, Celestia. Gag, why? Oh, if you insist.
her was a small yellow pony with a pink soft mane, drenched in mud and water.
Ah, so this is a Fluttercore story, is it? I suppose it can't be a Dyslestia one, since she's playing the role of the queen.
You're going to do this the entire story, aren't you?
Yes.
Don't pretend you don't love it. You know you want me, baby! Something tells me someone's going to get angry at me for using that phrase without permission.
Meg owes me so much for this. The pony had big, wavering anime eyes and a quiver in her lip.
Forgive my intrusion, dear queen, but I am a princess, even though I'm just a Pegasus, and I have been tragically separated from my servants on a long, perilous journey. Might I come in and spend the night away from the storm?
The princess asked, as the music in the background became louder, while the camera panned over to Horse Mom, who you could tell was sympathetic, but
Horse Mum. Oh my God. Oh, I suppose. What a god. Oh.
at the tragically sad look on her face.
Of course, dear, come in. You are a princess, you say?
I am Princess Waifu Shy. Thank you for your hospitality.
Oh, God, this is killing me to do this. Why? Waifu Shy? Oh, my dearest, sweetest Celestia. God, why? Waifu Shy?
Do you like that one? Came up with the name myself. I know how much the fans love a good ship.
Pinkie Pie?
Just kidding, it's still me!
What the? Ugh! Discord! Are you really that?
Oh, Lost Narrator, what's wrong? It's as if you were actually angry at me. It seems that you are howling at the moon at the moment. Oh God, puns, my song, yes. Shameless tag, why not? It seems that she's filled with joy, not anger.
Bored? Or are you just trying to make it your mission to tick me off?
Oh, it's just killing you, isn't it? Can't say bad words in front of the little ones. This is Magpie Pony's channel, after all.
Yes.
Waifu Shy curtsied, and the prince begrudgingly returned the gesture before turning to his mother.
how are we to know that she is a real princess? It could have been any pony off the streets pretending to be a waifu.
The prince said, like the picky little brat he was.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you want, I could just go.
Nonsense. Come, child. Warm yourself by the fire, while my son and I prepare you a room.
Horse Mom said, ushering the poor filly towards the cracking but otherwise boring fireplace. The prince, still skeptical, followed his mother from the room.
Patience, my dear, for I know of a test that will prove if this mare is indeed a true princess of your liking.
That's not the only requirement I have, you know. She must also sound lyrical, laugh at my jokes, be exceedingly beautiful. Although, let's be honest, none can exceed my own beauty. Oh, and I almost forgot, she absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, must be perfect in every way.
All of these things will be made clear by my test.
I think you just enjoy testing your subjects, don't you, Queenie Sunbutt? Oh, wait, I mean mother.
The queen instructed several servants to meet her and the prince in the highest room of the tallest tower, with exactly 20 downy mattresses, 20 quilted blankets, and a small green pea. She knew that only a real princess would be sensitive enough to feel the little pea under all the mattresses and blankets.
Sounds like I'm asleep. Boring.
And if she was a real princess, then she would be the one for her son. For the love of Discord!
What? Oh, it's you. Wake me when this story is over, will you? Now I know why you use these to get the twins to sleep.
You're making this so difficult!
See, she's filled with delight.
Flutter's waifu shy was escorted to the tower shortly after the room was completed. When she was ushered inside, she looked confused, but didn't speak up at the strange sleeping arrangements. She thanked the queen and prince and retired for the evening.
Why is it Fluttershy gets to go to sleep in this story, but I can't take a nap?
I thought it was waifu shy. Can't you keep your character straight?
With enough interruptions. Can you?
You are so lucky I am on Mag's channel right now. The next morning, the queen and the prince eagerly awaited waifu shy at breakfast to see the outcome of the test. When she arrived, she looked much more put together than the night before, though she did yawn quite loudly as she was seated.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just a bit tired.
Oh? How did you sleep, my dear?
Waifu Shy wasn't sure how to answer that question. She hadn't had any sleep at all thanks to the tiny pea under the mattresses. But she didn't want to admit to the queen that she wasn't the perfect hostess to visiting royalty. She presumed that a little white lie might be better than offending the queen. After all, princesses were taught to be kind and bite their tongues with
How annoying am I?
Hey, bada, hey!
What?
How have you been? You seem tense.
You know what? I am done. I don't care. I don't care what this is Mag's channel.
See? Filled with joy.
Well, it seems I've lost the narrator. And so, to this boring story, I say the end. Maybe they didn't hear me. The end. The end. The end.
It seems that lost narrator got a little bit lost in her words and sort of dropped a couple of happy, joyous words.
I don't think that's going to work work, Discord.
That would work perfectly fine on Pinkie Pie.
We're just going to have to try something else.
And what, pray tell, do you have in mind to make them stop spewing that horrendous noise?
It's not their diapers. They're fed. I know they're tired. I just don't know.
It's the story, isn't it? Not good enough yet. Take 3. Once upon a time.
Oh, God.
I promised myself I wasn't going to narrate for Discord again. I made that promise, but the real chaotic is missing. Lost is still somewhere reeing into the sunset, and here I am. So you know what? I'm gonna narrate this one my way. There's this far-off kingdom ruled by this queen of sorts. Only she's a bit of a bohemian, and she has this particular problem. See, she's got this kid that she wants to marry off, but all the neighboring kingdom's princes take one look at her kid and begin to question the actual requirements for being royalty these days, and they go kind of into a mental breakdown. See, her kid's a bit of a sap. You could say she's real stiff. The possibilities of puns are endless here, because she is a tree. I mean, I figured Tree Hugger might try to claim some plant-based life form somewhere in her ancestry.
Oh, you've got to be... What the actual... I'm gonna drop and fucking...
But she's actually trying to pass this tree Bloomberg off as the princess of her land. So after some time has passed, hippie mom goes to her kid all upset because she's failed, and she's like,
I am so totally bummed that I haven't found you the right soul partner with whom you can share an eternal bond. But don't let those other princes wreck your vibe. It just means that they aren't princey enough to handle all your positive karma.
But as she's amping up those hippie stereotypes, there's a suspiciously well-timed knock on their front door.
Salutations and blessings to you, traveler.
Hey there.
No. I can handle Bloomberg and
Yes. Not no. Yes.
Tree Hugger, but you're making the Prince Featherbangs. That's totally what I said. You know what? I'm not even going to give you the chance to respond, because unlike the other narrators in this story, I have a pretty accurate sense of the power that I actually wield. So before you go and say something that you and I both know everyone will regret, I'm just going to ignore all these details that you're throwing at me to make me break, and I'm going to push on. So, ha!
I'm from a distant kingdom, and I heard you were looking for a handsome prince to sweep your princess off her hooves.
Actually, she has roots that tie her to our Mother Earth, and disrupting that connection might emotionally and physically scar her. But I can tell that your heart was in the right place. Come in and make yourself comfortable. I think you'll find the aura of this place to be quite calming and welcoming.
Yeah, sure, okay. So can I meet her?
She's in the throne room, which is actually made entirely of organic materials. We don't have to disrupt our environment to classify ourselves as royalty.
So Justin makes his way towards the princess, and at first he's skeptical, but then he sees his reflection shining back at him from the ripe apples on the princess's branches, and he decides that she's the most beautiful princess.
My fuck... Why? What the fuck is this? Who wrote this? Was it me? Was it Pinkie Pie? Was it Fluttershy? Was it Celestia, Magpie, or Lost? Oh God, put me out of my misery. Although, this is hell on earth as it is.
He's actually ever met, so he's on board.
This just might be the most attractive tree I've ever seen. I'll totally marry her.
That's righteous, but I'm still not getting a clear vibe from you, and I can't let my sapling marry just any pony. I'm sure after some meditation and a good night's sleep, I'll have aligned my chakras and can make a more clear decision.
Even though I get the feeling that Tree Hugger would be the last pony to make someone pass a test to marry her tree, we're just gonna have to ignore that because reasons. She has a few other ponies bring her a biodegradable, environment-friendly mattress to Justin's room,
Oh.
along with whatever organic vegetable was left over from dinner.
You summoned me, Your Highness.
Oh, righteous, a garden pea. That's exactly what I need. In order to give my eternal blessings for this
I'm so going to fuck this up, I reckon.
union, I need to be sure that the prince can sense the emotions of all the Earth's bounty. So, I need you to sleep under the mattress. If he can, feel you under there and rescue you, then I'll know he cares for the well-being of every pony.
Oh, well, are you sure one mattress is enough? It might be too easy for him to feel my presence.
Nah, man. There's no need to waste more materials. And I highly doubt more mattresses will emphasize the point of this test.
So after all that exposition dump, Pony Bieber makes his way to the bed, but when he lays on the mattress, he senses what any normal pony would in this given situation. What with a Draconicus-sized vegetable literally lifting it off the
Oh yes. Draconicus sized is accurate.
ground, something's not right.
Huh, I can't seem to get my beauty sleep on this bed.
Ow!
It's like there's something trying to keep me from being my picture-perfect self.
Perhaps he didn't hear me. Ow!
Yeah.
Oh, what a fucking... I meant, what a feathering asshole. I mean...
I just sense that something's off here. Something just doesn't bode.
Are the Cake Twins asleep yet?
The next morning rolls around and preteen Scream approaches the queen holding a mangled pea in his hoof, and he's like,
So I couldn't sleep very much last night till I discovered this green thing under my mattress.
Ow!
Next time, you might want to check under there before you have visiting royalty.
That's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. I put it under there to test you for some reason, and you passed. You have my blessings and positive vibes to marry the princess.
I guess the moral of that story is when your in-laws give you a ridiculous test or put you under some undue scrutiny, it's best to just smile and take it, because at the end of the day, even they know it's stupid and unnecessary, but it sure is fun to watch you struggle.
The end. Did it work that time?
I think so.
Oh, thank
Aren't they just so adorable when they sleep?
Oh, yes. Diabetes inducing. No! Wait.
Oh, that's fucking bullshit. A simple... Oh, really? A simple book slam woke them up? That's fucking bullshit.
I give up.
What's going on in here?
Fluttershy? Discord? What are you two doing here?
Pinkie Pie was too sick to tell the twins a story tonight, so we volunteered to help. But no matter what we tried, they just can't seem to stay asleep.
That's because the twins caught the cold too. Babies are always fussier when they don't feel good.
Didn't Pinkie Pie tell you they were sick?
Nope. Let's just call this payback. Phew! I knew Fluttershy would bring you along, Discord, and you wouldn't be able to resist trying to impress her by getting them to sleep, even though that's almost impossible right now.
You son of a bitch.
Oh, you got me, Pinkie Pie. Don't you ever do this to me again. Toodle.
Yes. Pinkie Pie, don't you ever do this to me again. That was painful, torturous, and hell.
Worth it!
You son of a bitch. Fuck you, Pinkie Pie. Well, I've got to say, those stories were rather well put together. I enjoyed that. The animation was good. The story was good. I even liked the drawing, the art in it. It was good. As as always, I will put every necessary link in the description. Magpie, Lost Narrator, all these others that put themselves, well, we're in this one. Oh no, there's so many. Well, just the main VAs, Magpie, Discord, well, me, Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy. Oh, Starlight with Celestia. Ooh, Celestia was next. That's cool. So yes, I'm going to put everyone that was here in the description below. And as always, I'm going to say that chaos is magic, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.